Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. We have Patience up for review this time. She is a great looking 82 foot Marlow built in 2008. Let's take a look through the brochure. Now I wanted to show and review this one purely because it's without doubt the best looking Marlow that I've seen as far as interior sort of fit and finish. So let's take a look at these specifications. 82 foot in length, 20 foot beam. It's a fairly standard beam for this size boat. The draft though is very shallow. Great for sort of Bahamas, New England. It's only 4'10". Built in 2008 by Marlow. Now the Marlow yard is in Taiwan, which is a state-of-the-art yard. It's only 4 or 5 years old. Run by all the guys that started Marlow, sort of from over here. So run by very reputable people. It's actually got all of the Lloyd's sort of status to the yard, so all of their yachts have been, and their processes have been approved by Lloyd's and Bureau Veritas and all the classification companies. So a very good yard. Don't sort of have any issues with it being built in Taiwan. A lot of the boats are now moving manufacturing over to Asia because obviously the labor rates and things over there it's just good business right now. In fact, Ferretti and a lot of the European yards are now looking at moving over there. So the hull is composite hull. They actually use a lot of Kevlar in their hull construction, so it's very strong. The engines in here, great engines, Caterpillars, the C32s. About as reliable as engines can be. They're just about the best engines in my opinion out there. Very easy to work on. You can go anywhere in the world, find someone that can tear these things apart. So fantastic engines. The fuel is really good fuel capacity on here, almost 3,500 gallons. Water fairly standard, 400 gallons. Got great water makers on here to replenish that every day. The cruising speeds pretty good for this style boat. This is a true trawler style. Some of the other boats that we had looked at in this week's reviews were sort of transitioning into the yachts, but this is a true trawler style. So great speed, 24 knots. I haven't had chance to actually go on it and take much of a look around this boat. So it says here 3 staterooms. I don't know whether that's a mistake here or whether it does have 4 further on in the brochure. It actually talks about a 4th cabin, but it's just come down here, so now I will be able to get on board and I'll try and shoot some video around there as well, so keep an eye out for that. The asking price here, great asking price, $3,295,000 US dollars. So let's get stuck into the photographs. Here you can see virtually all of the interior of the boat is made up of teak. Everything is custom built here. All the cabinetry is custom built. Nothing is sort of pre-manufactured. Everything's built specifically for this boat. Beautiful teak floors. You have teak trim in the ceiling. They use nice sort of cream tones everywhere to balance the feel of the boat. The majority of it has this gloss finish, but they do use sort of satin trim pieces here and there to just sort of play on that gloss finish. Beautiful table there with, it looks like an ash inlay of a world map. All the sconces that you see, the sconce lighting around the window balances there, all custom as well. And here you can see a really nice shot of that main salon. Fairly big sofa there. Some of the other Marlows have it's like a smaller seating area in here, and it kind of makes the area a bit of a funny layout. But this one, they've actually gone for this larger L-shaped sofa, which is a bonus in my opinion. They have a nice big flat screen TV that pops up out of the cabinet opposite that sofa there as well. Moving forwards, they have nice dining tables and chairs. Again, all custom teak table, custom teak chairs. I think there's a shot of that further on in the brochure. And then forwards here into the raised pilot house, you go up a few steps to this level. Have a nice open galley area, big full size oven there. They have sub-zero fridge freezer and freezer drawers, ice makers here. The nice little sort of breakfast nook makes this feel like a sort of a country kitchen sort of style boat. And then a beautiful helm area. It's all sort of got the most up-to-date equipment. This, as far as I'm aware, has been upgraded sort of throughout the years, so you can mix and match these screens to place either the chart plotters or the radars or whatever you want on those individual screens. They have sort of custom-made wine cabinets and sort of glass cabinet, liquor cabinets. We'll see those later on as well. In fact, you can see one of them there on the top right-hand side photograph. So really beautiful fit and finish here. I mean, I don't need to explain this too much. It's pretty obvious. You can see that through looking through these photographs. I will go back to a couple of the main salon ones though. It's unfortunate that they took these photographs at night. You can see on the port and starboard side there they have the blinds down. These again are teak blinds, custom made, but with those blinds up, this really sort of opens this whole area up. I mean, they've got so many windows along either side. It really makes it feel like it's sort of an interior exterior sort of area. So slightly unfortunate, but you can imagine there with having those blinds up and looking out onto the ocean. So moving forward, some of the photographs of our helm areas here. Again, great sort of equipment fitted, all the sort of up-to-date fixtures and fittings. In fact, I think they actually have a bow and a stern thruster on these boats, which makes them really maneuverable as well. So there we can see on the bottom photograph on the left, we can see the dining table, custom teak chairs, nice light fixture there, throwing up light all across the cream ceiling treatment. There's one of our custom-made liquor cabinets there at the top on the right, and some more here with the wine coolers. So really custom finishes here. It's all about the woodwork. It's all about this sort of traditional feel inside these boats, and that's carried on down into the lower cabins as well. We can see the master cabin here on the bottom photograph on the right, full beam master with a king size bed. They actually use some ash wood here to sort of lighten up the tones of the wood. Beautiful finish at the high gloss floors again with the teak and holly in the floors. More of the master cabin shots there. This is the master bathroom. Have some nice marble on the tops, beautiful fixtures and fittings. They have the electric flush operated buttons on the heads. This is a nice setup with the forward V berth. It's a a king size bed, but they actually have 2 bunks up by the sides. This is great for kids, but also fine for another couple without using the 2 berths. But it sort of increases the occupancy of the boat and really makes it a bit more diverse. Nice option. And then in the ceiling, those 2 panels that you can see there, that's the screens pulled across, but that's actually skylights in the and hatches in the ceiling there. So this is the twin room. Now I believe on this cabin there's another room to starboard, but they don't show any of the pictures for that here. Like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to go on and spend much time on board this boat because it's only just come down sort of towards this area. So hopefully at the Palm Beach show, which is towards the end of this week, it's from the the 21st to the 24th. So I'll try and get on and take some short video clips and post them up with this as well. Nice head with this cabin. They continue the teak and holly floors throughout. And now down into the engine room. The great engines, as I said earlier, the Cat C32s, really reliable engines, nice to work on, very basic sort of equipment as a whole. The one thing that I do notice about the Marlows, and they do that on all the ranges, and it seems strange to me coming from a larger boat background, but it's obviously not really an issue, otherwise I would have changed it by now. But you see on the bottom photograph on the right hand side in the center there, that's their sea chest, the main sea chest for the crossover, to supply all of the main engines and the generators. And there's usually 2 on larger boats. Here there's only 1. Now the reason they have 2 is that if one gets blocked up, it's a sea strainer in there, so if one gets blocked up, you can run everything just off of the one sea strainer while you clean the other one and then put it back into operation. Now with there only being 1 here, if that gets blocked up, then to me you would have to shut the engines down while you clean that strainer to be able to put it back into operation. Now, as far as I know, there's no other means of supplying the engines with raw water aside from going through this sea strainer. So to me, that I would have liked to have seen 2 there. As I said, that they use 1 on all their boats, even over 100 feet. So there's obviously no real issues there. But in an ideal world, I would like to see redundancy there and having 2 sea strainers. This is into the crew cabin. The crew cabin is aft. It's nice to have that aft and keep it away from the pure sort of guest areas. And you can monitor all of the main engines and equipment from back here as well. So that's a plus. That's a real nice feature. Into the write-up. Now, as with all of the boats that we do reviews on, we have a yacht pack available for all these boats. So what that means is the PDF version of this brochure that I'm going through now, plus some other bits and pieces of information that's relevant to someone looking in this size range. So we have all that ready to go in this yacht pack, and click on that button that's on the right, leave the name of the boat that you're interested in, and your name and email address, and we'll forward that off to you right away. This write-up is fairly lengthy, so I won't go through it word for word or line item by line item. Get that yacht pack and flick through it when you've got some time. So I'll go through some of the highlights here. You'll see the word teak used over and over again throughout this write-up. we see going through the boat, everything is custom made, teak furniture, teak floors, cabinetry, everything is built to a really, really high spec on here. So a few of the other sort of features, the built-in Bose surround sound, nice big 52-inch flat screen TV, the custom leather L-shaped sofas, the ice makers, refrigerators into the galley, goes through some of the bits and pieces of equipment in there, Sub-Zero refrigerators, the granite countertops, the freezer storage, the freezer drawers, Paycal dishwasher in the pilot house, details some of the electronics that are in there. Most of it's Raymarine equipment, the autopilot, chart plotter, depth sounders. Then we go into the VHF equipment, the bow and stern thrusters, the readouts for the cat engines. We have our stabilizers, Naiad stabilizers. In the dining room, the custom teak chairs, the custom storage cabinets. Details some of the bits and pieces in all of the staterooms, and there you can see is the extra starboard guest stateroom, which we didn't see in the photograph. So when I'm on board, I'll actually confirm that and take some video shots, as I said. The aft deck, we didn't see any exterior shots of the boat at all, really, apart from some profile shots. So as far as the flybridge and the main deck aft is concerned, they really didn't detail that. So when I'm on board, I'll take some good shots of the outside and try and post that up as well. They do have a nice big, from being on other Marlows, they do have a nice big flybridge up there. So they usually have a wet bar, some seating areas. They've got tenders stored up there. You can see at the bottom on the left here, it details the tender that they have on board. So unfortunately those pictures aren't up there, but I will try and get a hold of some. They also have the wet bar, as I said, and a grill area, and a nice big seating area up there, and there's a second helm location up there as well. The engine room, our Cat C32s, fantastic engines, Northern Light generators, which have the John Deere or Lugger engines in there. Again, very easy to maintain, great engines if you're looking at traveling sort of further afield into lesser traveled areas. Wherever you go, you'll always find someone to service these engines. They're a bit easier than the high-powered MTU engines that we see on the other boats. The final few sort of details that I'll pick up here. The sea recovery water makers, 900 gallons per day. That's great for this size boat as well. So there you go. I won't go through any more of this. It will take too long to pull everything off piece by piece. But get that yacht pack. We'll send you this. You can look through it in your own time, and we'll obviously answer any questions that you might have. We do weekly qualified buyer tours, so if you are a buyer that is looking to get something within the next 3 to 6 months, then join us for these tours. They go on throughout the week at 2 or 3 different times per day. So shoot us an email, click on that qualified buyer tour button and select your time and day. We'll take you on board these boats, and you can see them in a little more detail and really see whether this is something for you. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week.